Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm glad we're having this hearing. I've had a chance to visit with the witnesses before us today, and we look forward to having others virtually. We spent a lot of time on vetting executive nominees, and it's an important part of our constitutional duty. So we should. This committee in particular sees a lot of nominees. The process can be long and difficult. I understand that. I went through 2 confirmations myself. But there's a reason for that. We want to make sure the nominees are well qualified and well qualified to serve the American people. Just in the past year, we've seen a number of troubling issues with nominees. Now, let me give you a few examples. The Comptroller of OMB's Office of Federal Financial Management is required by statute to have a, quote, demonstrated ability and practical experience in accounting, financial management, and financial systems, and extensive practical experience in financial management in large governmental or business entities, end quote. You know, there's a reason Congress put those criteria in place in statute, but the President's nominee for the position was unable to explain, in my view and in the view of others on the Republican side of the dais here, how she met those qualifications or express a basic understanding of public accounting and financing. And her nomination passed out of the committee, but it did so on a party-line vote and has yet to come before the Senate. We also have received distressing allegations regarding the conduct of nominees to serve on the Federal Labor Relations Authority. We've asked the Inspector General to look into these allegations, so I don't want to prejudge the issue, but they're very serious allegations and a significant concern to me and many of my colleagues, and yet those nominees were on their way to this committee before we insisted that we give the Inspector General a chance to look into it. Finally, multiple nominees for positions such as the recent nominee to the Merit Systems Protection Board, which is intended to serve federal workers of all political persuasions, and in fact has a role to play there to be totally nonpartisan. Anyway, some of these nominees have tweeted extremely partisan statements. These statements have included, by the way, insults and partisan attacks against members of this committee and also fellow members of the Senate, our colleagues, at a time when we should be trying our best to return to saner times when both parties can work together in a bipartisan fashion to serve all Americans. So my point is, I guess, it's also about the quality of the nominees. It's hard to imagine these nominees being put forward, by the way, if we still had a 60-vote threshold to end debate on a nomination. When the President's party has control of the Senate and a nominee only needs a simple majority to be confirmed, the majority party tends to overlook serious concerns sometimes with these nominees' qualifications, in my view. And that might otherwise not be true if bipartisan support were necessary. Maybe that's what's been happening recently. Maybe that explains it entirely. I don't know, but this concern applies to both parties, by the way. Same was true during the previous administration with some nominees. One can argue that this weakens congressional oversight because nominees who don't have to get support from senators of the other party might think, even if wrongly, that they don't need to be responsive to those senators' concerns once they're confirmed. And obviously, we've seen some of that in this committee where we've asked for information we've not been able to receive on both sides of the aisle. We probably can't turn the clock back. We are where we are. But I do think we need to continue to take our advice and consent rule seriously. I understand some of our witnesses are going to propose reducing the number of Senate-confirmed positions and explore some ways to make the process more efficient so we can attract the best people to government. By the way, Chairman talked earlier about the arduous process. Let's be honest, the arduous process includes the lengthy and sometimes bureaucratic pre-confirmation process at the executive branch as well. Anyway, I believe some of these reforms, including reducing the number of Senate-confirmed positions, have merit and could work if carefully crafted. I'm also glad that the witnesses will discuss the importance of having confirmed inspectors general. Chairman Peters and I have led members of this committee from both parties in sending letters to President Trump and now President Biden that urge them to nominate IGs expeditiously and offer the committee's assistance in identifying qualified candidates. But again, I just want to say at the outset that no matter what reforms we discuss, nominees need to be qualified. And it's our role to vet these nominees. And we have to encourage the executive branch to send us nominees that do not have some of the concerns that I raised earlier. And the confirmation process needs to be thorough and nonpartisan or bipartisan at least. So I thank the witnesses for testifying. I look forward to hearing what they have to say about these issues, and we look forward to engaging in a dialogue on them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.